Well, one risk is definitely having a Twitter account hacked, and that's definitely a scary thing to have happen when suddenly messages are going out from the wrong account and they're going out there. Or the wrong kind of messages going out from an account. There are a few different ways to prevent that. The first is to have a complicated password. Have a hard password, the one that's not very easy to guess. I use very complicated passwords. I don't do the common one. I believe it's called the rainbow list. I think you had mentioned where it's just commonly used passwords. Passwords is one of them. Universe, everything. Oddly enough, monkey, I think, was on the list. Monkey 123 is used a lot. These are passwords to avoid. Use passwords that aren't going to be guessed. Use passwords that don't make sense, but hopefully something you can remember. And have a plan in case. Have a plan in case something happens. A nice thing to do is, because often what will happen is they'll just get in because they've guessed the password. Most aren't going to change the password. They're just going to get in and do things. So if you realize something like that has happened, see if you can log in and change the password right away. That's the number one thing to do. And then worry about damage control after that. Regain control is the very first thing to do. Hopefully also you might have authorized the account on a mobile device. And if you've already authorized the account on a mobile device, sometimes you can go in, depending on what the permission setting in is and how the API is working, you can go in and change the password through the mobile. You can access the account that way. Not always, but sometimes that'll work. And that's a way also it's a good idea to have a worst case scenario and to have a plan on how to do that. Twitter.com, in their help pages, they do have a help I've been hacked link that you can follow, which will help reestablish ownership of an account, but it isn't instant, and it does take a little while to go through that process. So if it already has been authorized on a mobile, even if it's not something that you're checking on a regular basis and you have all your alerts turned off, you can send updates and be like, hey, we've been hacked, this is what's going on, please ignore the following things. Sometimes you can go through and actually delete, because it'll still show up as coming from your account. You can go in and you can delete it. I believe Hennepin County had that, the library. They got hacked and they were still going in on a mobile and deleting old comments. And that was a way that they were able to keep control of their Twitter accounts. Another thing I like to do, and is to not give individuals the Twitter account, and that's why using third-party dashboards and clients is really useful. So if you have collaborators or other team members, nobody really has access to the password itself. I like to create a separate email that is not my email, and it's a standalone email. Maybe anything going to that Twitter account emails will be forwarded into my inbox, but that's not actually my email. So when I leave the organization, or whoever is running the organization's Twitter account, you can easily just pass on that email and forward that to somebody else. All new social profiles, any profiles created on social media platforms, similarly, I'd like to use this dedicated social media email. That way, if a password, you're like, somebody signed up for this 2 years ago and no one remembers what that is anymore, you have an email and you know what the email is, and they can send you the directions to sign up and to reauthorize the program by using that legacy email, I like to call it. It's something that you can pass on, and it's a way to prevent the loss of all of that information when one person leaves.